So I just put together a pair of these CedarCraft elevated planters, and I wanted to take a quick look at them. So this is about a, I don't know, about a 22 by 36 or 22 by 40 inch elevated planter. Has cedar sides, and this one has the water reservoir on the bottom. Here you see where the spout goes in, and this is the reservoir itself. These are recessed areas that go into the water. And then if you pick this piece up, you see the reservoir down there. Build quality is fair to good. You have aluminum L brackets on the sides, cedar, 3 pieces here, nice stainless steel screws. You got a lot of extra screws, so that's good. A nice sturdy piece of aluminum on the leg there, so you don't have to worry about it being, rusting out or anything like that. I guess maybe a galvanized steel would be nicer, but this is totally fine. The cedar slots right in there. It's a perfect fit. You screw it, you screw it. You see I missed a couple screw holes. That's because the screw hole alignment with the cedar pieces is really odd. Like this piece, okay, it's right in the middle of that nice piece of cedar, great. This piece, okay, it's like not in the middle, but maybe at the 30% mark. This piece is right near the edge of the cedar, so I didn't use it, so didn't want to crack it. At the bottom, you have this long aluminum strip. This is called the cleat. This is like a L-shaped piece, and it basically holds in, it forms a shelf where the reservoir goes. So the big plastic reservoir, which probably has, I don't know what, maybe 3 or 4 gallons of water in there, so it probably weighs 30-ish pounds, something like that. That sits on the L bracket here. So there's one here. There's one on this side. They don't have one over here, but it's not really a big deal. Overall fit is good. Build quality, like I said, fair to good, not perfect, but totally fine. Some of my pieces of cedar were kind of chewed up. You can see over here, but whenever one of the pieces of cedar was messed up, the other side was totally fine. And some were perfect and some were in bad shape. Yeah, so like I said, I bought 2 of them. I have a nice match pair here for the patio or the deck, whatever. And here is the fill spout right here. It's basically a long plastic tube that comes up. It has a little, is a flower in there, but they call it a bobber. So basically you fill the reservoir, and as the reservoir gets filled, this bobber will rise up. When it's about at the top, you will go ahead and stop putting water in there. It can overflow. It'll just go over the sides, which is not really a big deal. It'll get your deck a little bit wet. No big deal. This version did include casters. If you wanted to be able to roll this around, I don't need them, and I'm a little bit concerned about the wind. Even with a locked caster, you don't have the stability of a foot. There's an L bracket piece right here. You can see that this is where the wood would have slided in. The shape continues from top to bottom. Nice piece. It's painted. The paint's a little bit fragile. Here you can see I accidentally put the paint down on some rough plywood. It got a little scratched up, so I'd be careful there. It didn't mess it up, but it's definitely not perfect anymore. This is the untreated cedar. It's in good shape, not perfect, but this piece isn't super high end. I'm not going to paint this. I guess theoretically you could, or stain it or something. I don't really know, but the cedar should be fine. And then really the main question I have is whether I want to coat or line this piece with some sort of plastic or something just to protect the wood and get a couple more years out of it. It's kind of an open question. I'm going to decide before I fill this thing with dirt. So this is all set now. You can see I filled it with topsoil. This thing takes 2 bags, maybe 2.5 bags topsoil, about 4.5 cubic feet. I lined it in plastic, and then I lined it in the this garden weave stuff. This is normally used to prevent weeds and stuff from growing, but I just want to use this to hold the dirt in place, and then the plastic is just there to protect the cedar. Hopefully I'll get a couple extra years out of this. Did the first planting here, fill this up. You can see this bobber is moving around a little bit because it's nice and full. It takes about 5 or 6 gallons to fill this up. So yeah, that's the CedarCraft planters. I think over time I will kind of clean this up or add extra dirt, but for the first run, I don't really mind that it shows. You can't see it from the sides of the planter. So yeah, there you go.